All right. So we are talking about converting website visitors into customers. I mean, relationships, knowing people, talking to people has always been a really important thing. And if we take a really typical example, even the most basic one, which is like a brick and mortar store, something that we've all experienced. If we've worked in stores, we've also done this. If you have a store, you're probably doing this. You have a kind of basic setup where you have maybe someone at a register that's there to help customers. You might have a lady in a blue shirt that's kind of your roaming sales rep kind of person. And then you have customers in the aisles. You have customers coming into the store and so forth. And you're watching the door. You're trying to figure out what's going on. And if you are the lady in the blue shirt, you're walking around the store. You're trying to judge people's interests, right? So in this initial step, we've kind of seen who is in the store, what's going on here. We've kind of identified the landscape, so to speak, right? And now what we're trying to do is figure out who should we really be talking to. We're practicing some kind of scoring system, I mean, that's a more software-y kind of term to layer onto that. But we're looking, is this person like looking at a product? Are they interested? Are they on their phone? Did they come into the store with their spouse? They really want to leave and they're hating themselves and hating everyone else and they're considering breaking up with the spouse, There's any number of different scenarios that are going on. And as a sales rep, we're trying to gauge, who's the right person to talk to. And so after we've done this identification of who's in the store, what's going on, after we've processed or practiced some kind of scoring system, we do usually the most basic thing, the thing that I ask probably everyone here at this event: how can I help you? Is there anything I can do? What do you need? And we do that by just asking a question, by starting a conversation, by beginning to build a relationship. Friendly they are, how willing they are to really help someone. And that's the kind of thing that we're ultimately usually trying to do with our customers. So this is obviously an in-store kind of physical scenario that might not apply to everyone in the room. But if you're in this room, chances are you have a website. How can we do that on our website? The answer is Sales IQ, Zoho Sales IQ, which helps you identify, score, and engage your website visitors. Okay? So those initial concepts that we ran through in my little, 3-part image thing, it's pretty much the same thing that we're doing with Sales IQ. We're trying to figure out who is on the website. We're trying to score them. Either we're doing that manually, where we're kind of seeing, oh, this is a person that's on the website. They've been on the website for 5 minutes. They're on our pricing page. We definitely want to talk to this person. Or we maybe are doing this automatically. The software is doing it for us because we've used Sales IQ's scoring system to do that. And then finally, when we know who we want to talk to, we're going to want to engage them. We're going to want to say, hey, how can I help you? Get them the information they need to make a sale, get them to the right person so they can get the right help, and basically fulfill and build those customer relationships. And of course, we can do that manually by sitting back as agents that are online, whether we're on the desktop or the mobile app, and chat with people. Or we can actually also send automatic triggers, right? So that way we can greet people even if we're not wanting to do that ourselves every time. Again, the software can do some work for us. So the nice thing about this demo is that we actually get to make it a little more interactive. So if you want to go to this website, you can help me with the demo. outofline.zohosites.com. So this fake company is called Out of Line Design. It's kind of a modern design agency. This is the kind of demo company that I'll be using for this demo and in the campaigns demo. This here is Sales IQ. So all of these little flags, can everyone see the little flags? Yes? That's all you. That's all you people who have just came onto the website. And you're moving around on these different concentric rings because you're actually being scored in some different ways. So this is Sales IQ in action. It's a pretty nifty little tool, right? So as I said, we have these concentric circles that help kind of lay things out. So this outer line is for people who have been on the site for more than 0 seconds, which is a very technical way of saying they have just got here, right? And as we move into the circle, on the next ring rather, you can see this is for people who have been here longer than 15 seconds. This is for people who have been here, I think, 2 minutes or so. And then this is a whole other ring, which is actually using CRM data. So the people that would move to the innermost ring are people that have a number of open potentials that is greater than 0, which again is to say they have a potential deal with us, right? So this is a way that you can help kind of visualize and identify who's on your website. as we, have these concentric circles and we can move people around, we can of course customize how we want to do that. So this is the innermost circle denoted by this tiny little ring, and you have the bigger ring, and you can move and, decide to do it by a whole bunch of different types of things, whether it's like location or region or past chats, last action performed, and so forth. It's pretty easy, and you just apply those rules, and then people will move around the circles. So, as I said, this is the more interesting part of the demo because I'll actually be chatting with some of you. So you can see this is some more information about this visitor. So you can see they've joined the site. You can see how long they're on the site. You can see they're a new visitor. We're pulling IP information. So this is San Jose. Not quite exactly the right area, but close enough for now. And we can see which page they're on, which is just the home page here, and that they are using some kind of Android type situation as well. So we can move through to a whole bunch of other people. You see these little flags up here coming from the US using Chrome browser on an Apple product. This is someone that started chatting because the chat was triggered, right? So there was a rule on this website that said if you've been on this page X amount of time, send a chat invite. So again, we can see how long they've been here. This IP is better right here in Pleasanton. They were direct traffic, which is basically, I gave you this URL. You went directly to the URL. So that's what happened. You didn't use like Google search or anything like that to get here, right? So it lets you see some of that information as well. So I'll go ahead and start chatting. We also have this nifty thing called canned messages, which helps, speed up some of your time. So just by pressing the pound or hashtag. Does anybody know what we're actually calling that symbol anymore? It's kind of changed, it seems. So you can do that, and then you can just use preloaded responses. You can use a little bit of code to automatically pull visitor information if you have that already. So we can start talking, and I'll do that. And I'll start talking to a bunch of people. Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. Hello. You could see, I think Kevin's, it's like it has this little pencil and it has the little grayed out thing. This is Kevin's response before he's actually typed it, right? So this is a way, as an agent, you can kind of see what the question is coming next. What do I need to know? What's going on? So this allows you to help juggle multiple chats. Generally, for most people I've talked to, they find it difficult to do more than 3 at a time, right? But a lot of agents actually like chatting with people because of a few things. One, if they're doing a phone call, they can only do one phone call, right? And it's immediate. You can't really do anything else. It's also a little harder to collect data when you're doing a phone call, right? You have to say, oh, what's your name? And they go, oh, it's this name, and you have to make sure you enter it correctly. You have to get their phone number correct, their email correct. There's a lot of different data entry stuff that can go poorly, right? Well, nonetheless, so we can see Plant here. So I said something about making data entry easier, right? So we can automatically actually pull different information into the system. So as you can see, I have names and there's email addresses that you've given me. And that's because it's mandated that when you chat with me, you have to give me your email address, right? So in that way, the data collection has been a lot easier. Chances are you're going to enter your own name correctly and I'm going to enter it wrong. So it helps speed things up that way. And then you also have a way to chat with people faster than you would be doing email responses, right? But still have a little more flexibility to handle more people. And so as you can see then on the right, this email here has been caught, and we can see again some of the different information there. Click to continue. And we can see that there is also some Zoho CRM stuff on the side as well as some desk stuff. So this thing that's happening right here with CRM is that we have an integration between SalesIQ and CRM. And basically anyone that I chat with or that tries to chat with me will automatically be added as a lead in CRM, right? So they've given their email, they've probably given their name. That's lead generation. And we've passed that immediately to the CRM. And you can see there's some other data that's here. It's been assigned to Darlene Daniels, which is this person's account, this demo account. We can see that they are a lead. We can also do some other cool stuff like we can create a potential. So say we're actually talking to them and we're figuring out, actually it looks like we can do a deal. We can go ahead and enter some of that different information, and then we can select a stage and then actually convert that lead into a contact while we create that deal, all from Sales IQ. Okay? So it actually allows you to do a lot of that basic CRM stuff that's super important and able to move things along. All right? Same thing for Desk. You can automatically add tickets to Desk, and then which is Zoho's support desk software. That's essentially like a lot of that core stuff that we're talking about, right? So that ability to identify who's on your website and move them around a bit and get a sense of what's going on, and then being able to actually engage with them. I'll show you some more of the scoring things that you can do in a little bit. So there's more stuff that we can do even just kind of within this chat. We have our trusty canned messages, so again, we can save some time if we need to. But then we also have more actions, so we can block IP addresses. So it's the web equivalent of get out of my store and stay out. You can block an IP and get rid of them. You can share a URL, which, just sharing a link or something. You can invite other users to the chat. You can transfer the chat, and you can also translate the chat. So you have all these different languages that you can transfer chat or translate chats into. And the thing that's kind of nice about that is it'll automatically, so say if someone writes to me in Spanish, it'll automatically put it into English for me to see, and then when I type in English, it'll translate it back into Spanish for them. So if you are working in multiple countries or you work with people in multiple demographics that speak different languages, this can be helpful to, close some of that gap. Another thing that's cool is you can also collect more data and update it to the CRM. So you can see I've just randomly highlighted the word able right there, and there's this little box that hopefully you can see. It's kind of hard to see. It says update to CRM. So if I know that there's certain data that I need to be collecting to develop a lead, or I learned some more stuff that we should be adding to a contact record, I can just highlight that text, click the update to CRM, and then choose the field, and then enter the value, right? So this could be something like email, or not email. Obviously we already have that. We can say industry. And then we know that this is their industry, they're in something like retail, and then we could hit save and it'll be pushed to the CRM, right? So as I said, you're able to talk to more people at once than if you were on the phone. You're able to talk to people in a more immediate way than if you were doing email. And then you're also able to just, collect data and pass it to the CRM in a much more seamless way. And this actually just makes things a little easier. You're filling out just a tiny little form, but ultimately it's just the stuff that you need to do. So that's basically the core kind of functionality of Sales IQ. That's kind of where you're going to be living for the most part. You can see there's all the different connected people. You can go in and look at visitor history, and you can adjust, the different types of views you want by using this little nifty menu, and it allows you just to sort them out by criteria. You can go back and look at all your different chat history and see who is the person that actually had that chat. And then you also get feedback, right? So this is a way that you can, just see how your agents are doing at a kind of a higher level. You can see Darlene got 5 stars on this one. Ivan Drago, he got 1 star. The support was terrible. And then so, if something is going bad, not every interaction is going to go that great all the time. The most important thing as a manager is being able to follow up and see what actually went on. So you can look through and try to figure out, what actually happened. Maybe Ivan did a bad job. Maybe he didn't. You shouldn't punish him unnecessarily. So we give that context there for the manager to go in there and look at. So we have some reports. I'm not going to show you the reports because it's a demo account and it doesn't look very good. But as I said, you can also, create all these different canned messages. It's pretty easy to do. You just say, I want to create a new one, and, like this. So we'll say, what's up? We'll say for all department, you can choose it as a greeting and then hit save. And now whenever I hit pound or hashtag and hit a W, then that canned message will just come up, right? As I mentioned, you can use a little bit of code to automatically use people's data or information that you already have. So, for example, if I am speaking to John on the website and I know this is John, I can automatically say canned message, hey John, what's up? Because it's just using whoever it is that I'm talking to. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. And then, there's some other settings that are pretty cool. So these are just the different users that are in this account. You can set up your company information, some different departments. So if maybe you want to have a sales department or a support department, you can do that and assign users accordingly. You also have portal settings, your blocked IPs. You can set this up on multiple websites. You have automation as well, right? So there's a few different things you can do to help, this whole chat experience go. So you can do chat monitoring. Again, very helpful if you are a manager. You can actually watch these chats happening. As I said earlier as well, you have the ability to trigger chats automatically, and this is what you'd be able to do under intelligent triggers. So we can see that we have a few different rules here. So this one, for example, is visitor type. So when do we want to do this? When they land on the website. Which visitors do we want to do this to? All of them. We want to then send a chat invite with a message, hello there, how can we help you? And we'll want to do that after 30 seconds, right? So it's pretty simple, just kind of general workflow building, a simple kind of if-then statement. Anytime in software you hear people talk about like the workflow builder or workflow automation, it's always really talking about an if-then statement, right? So if a certain condition is met, then we want to be able to do this. So if you're new to some of this stuff, that's kind of a helpful little tip. And that's the way that this whole thing is set up. So you want to just say, if certain thing has happened, for example, they've landed on my website, or they've accessed any page, or they've left the website, or they've performed a custom action, then I want the CRM leads, or I want, people from a certain state, visitors from a certain state, and then I want a certain action to happen. So we can send chat invites, you can animate the button or glow the button, you can do custom APIs, all sorts of different stuff. So we have intelligent triggers. We also have visitor routing. So you can actually route visitors to specific agents depending on who they are or different criteria that's been met. If you have a account manager that's assigned to a certain contact, you can automatically route them to that person so that they always, so if you have, account X and they always talk to Susan, Susan will always talk to account X through the chat. You can always route her that way. So you practice good account management because you don't want to be mixing up all these different personal relationships that you might be depending on. There's also, as I said, lead scoring, right? This is not quite lead scoring. It's more of like visitor scoring because it's, taking just the stuff that's happening on the website. And finally, we have a bunch of integrations. So obviously, this is really, really helpful if you have a CRM to integrate with. And the integration with Zoho CRM is excellent. It integrates with Desk. It integrates with campaigns. So you can actually track people from your email campaigns back to your website, right? And see which, you can basically complete the chain from opening or sending the email, opening the email, clicking the link, getting to your website, and then how did they behave on your website once they got there. So you can do all that. Okay, so we have Zendesk and MailChimp integrations as well for Sales IQ. So that's one of the things that we can do. Obviously, working with one vendor and working with us, we prefer that. But if you really like MailChimp, if you really like Zendesk, we don't want to limit your options. Then, of course, there's a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So is basically that it's super easy to get Sales IQ on your website. It takes just 5 minutes. Really, basically, you're given some code that you just copy, and you take it to your website, and you paste it into like the footer of your website. We have plugins for a whole bunch of different things as well, so you can get that on there. So thank you.